And the combination of the dropper and the extra wide bars is just an absolute gift if you want to be a proper goon on your drop bar bike. My name's Guy Kesteven and I've been a professional bike and kit tester for nearly 25 years, and today this is a quick fire review on the PNW Rainier seat post generation 3 in 27.2mm, so gravel sized, and the Coast super wide drop bar and Coast stem that goes with it. And this is on GuyKes TV, brought to you in conjunction with Giro Cycling UK. So let's jump on and see how this kit rides. So, how does this Coast bar and stem ride? I mean, to be fair, the stem's just a nice lightweight, fairly conventional forged 4-bolt stem with a neat little GoPro light mount built into it, so that's just a nice piece. But these 520mm bars really are something freaky. I mean, obviously 440mm is relatively large in drop bar standards, so 520 is massive in terms of the leverage it gives you. And I'm certainly, you know, having ridden these bars, I am certainly using the side knobs on the tyres a lot more, and it's definitely well worth pairing them with a dropper post if you're going to get the best out of them. But expect to lose that tyre on a regular basis, because you are able to work the front end of the bike that much harder. And the other thing you need to be careful of with the added kind of confidence this bar width gives you is these are not a forgiving setup. I was kind of thinking that drop bars this wide might be a bit flexy, and they are over 350 grams, so they're fairly hefty. But I still thought, you know, maybe just the width of them would mean they flex all over the place, but these are stiff, combined with the fact that as they're so wide, you're not going to be able to wrap the tape that fat unless you've got specifically kind of, whoa, flick that back end round, specifically extra long tape. On the other thing, I don't know if you can see there, but you know, because these hoses were originally set up for 440mm bars, they really are stretched. So I've had to pop the hoses out part way through the tape. I think in terms of breathing and wind, it's a double-edged sword having this width, because being a mountain biker, it's nice having that open chest position, get some more air into my lungs. And Freya's giving me grief on the e-bike, but our short stem position means that it really doesn't work so well if you want to go hands in the middle. That ends up being pretty cramped. So from an aero point of view, not so much, and I have suffered a bit on the road, and I've been trying to hold the wheel. But off-road, oh yes. And while, you know, they're 520mm on the tops, the real width comes when you get down in the drops, because you've got 20-degree flare. So by the time they get to the tips, they're 604mm wide, and it's a shallow 120mm drop, 65mm reach, so it keeps it all nice and close in for manoeuvrability. And also the stem has got a 7-degree rise, so again that just lifts your head up a bit, puts you in a bit more control. I mean, obviously you can flip it for a more roady style look, but that will put your little torque meter numbers on top, which it doesn't look as pro. But you know, they're really nice graphics on them as well, designed by Mike at Phelps Graphics. And another thing is, all the PNW stuff comes in nice recyclable cardboard packaging, and you get a lifetime warranty. Warranty? What a weird way to say it. Warranty. And while I've gone for the widest bar option, the 520, it also comes in a 480mm. And the stem comes in sizes from 60 to 100mm. So there's plenty of options, you know, if you want a more conventional fit. But the other really impressive numbers on these, especially when, you know, they're so nicely designed and it's such a good warranty on them, that lifetime warranty, is they're only just over 50 quid, 50.72 when I check the pricing on these. And order enough. So I mean, it's a direct sell, so you've got to add some shipping on top, but that's an absolute bargain for such a nicely finished piece of kit. And at the other end of the bike, it's you got the Rainier dropper post. But if you can, I need to work out an angle where you can see it at. You know, maybe if I stop. But here, as you can see, got a really neat little dropper post lever. The cable just wraps around the back there. It comes with a special, very flexible bit of cable and a barrel adjuster there, so it wraps right around your bar and still works. And although I've got my Wahoo in the way, you can see, oh, there we go, I'll do that. You can see there's a little GoPro or light mount on there as well. And that gives you a bit more of a view of the graphic treatment as well. So really solid, but really pretty bar too. Really nice cockpit setup. Right, well, it got too dark. We spent too long watching barn owls in the woods, did Freya and I. So different ride, but the same basic setup. And I can tell you how much this dropper post is an absolute godsend on techier descents, because you've actually got a decent drop. You've got 125mm, properly gets the saddle out of the way. So you've got proper manoeuvring room, you can properly move the bike. That's a lot of properlies, but it's a proper dropper post, that's what I'm trying to say. And you know, being able to just get it on with your thumb there, on the drops, off from the hoods, means it's dead easy to get into and out of it. It's super light, it's only 453 grams without the dropper. And it just installs really nicely. It's got an extra flexible bit of outer that you wrap around the back of the bar drop. So you've actually got a pretty smooth, I mean, it's a tight cable run, but it's pretty smooth. And there's very few other posts, I can't think of any, that give you a 125mm drop with a 27.2 diameter. And it's just, you know, having used the Rainier 3 on my mountain bike for over a year with zero problems. You know, it's just a super reliable post, and it's a brilliant price as well, so it just wins all the way.
So, what's the summary here? Well, it'd be hard to be more positive, to be honest. Extra leverage from the bar is brilliant, love the shape. Yeah, it's obviously not the most aero thing, and it's a bit heavier than a standard bar because it's got a lifetime warranty. It's kind of mountain bike level strength, and it's super wide. So, you know, you're going to expect a few more grams on top of that compared to a conventional bar, but that's offset by the fact you've got a super light stem, you've got a really nice detailing on it all, you know, the graphics, that little GoPro mount, just everything's really beautifully thought out in terms of the cockpit, you know, the size range and everything's spot on. The Rainier post dropper looks a bit weird at first, but the way it operates is just really clever, you know, operates from the drops, or, you know, obviously got my hands backwards there, but it just, you know, the whole thing just works super well, really, really neat. And the way it wraps around the bar there, you know, looks a bit odd, but super functional. And then the dropper post is just brilliant. The fact that they've packaged all that adjustability, reliability, smoothness of stroke that's been so obvious on the mountain bike Rainier post I've used into this lighter, slimmer format with, you know, really I think it's 170mm minimum length from there to there. From there to there on the collar, so it'll fit into a really small gap on a gravel bike if you've limited seat post height. You know, insertion depth is really short. Just, you know, it's great. I mean, this is a relatively small frame, and I've had no trouble getting the full 125mm drop on there, which again is rare for a dropper post. So, absolute thumbs up on that one, and on the Cockpit as well. Super impressed with the product and everything I've heard about the company as well. Just a great bunch of people doing really positive things in terms of, you know, the ecological aspects of the packaging, their recycling scheme, and just kind of the way they seem to be conducting themselves. Just everything I've heard in terms of interviews been absolutely spot on. So yeah, well done the guys and girls at Pacific Northwest Components. And also, well, thank you to Zero Cycling for sponsoring the channel at the moment. Thank you to PTs, thank you to Crud as well for their support of the channel. Thanks massively to my Patreon supporters who pledge on a monthly basis, and they get extended, exclusive, behind-the-scenes edits as a thank you, and they get all the same content as YouTube, but without adverts, which is obviously a reason loads of people subscribe to things, so you don't get adverts cutting in, and I'm, you know, it's not a random man trying to sell you something halfway through this video. But, so if you really like what I'm doing on the channel, please consider joining me on Patreon as well on a monthly basis. But for now, please subscribe, please click for notifications, give it a thumbs up so YouTube know you like it, and share the news about the channel. If you've watched this far, you must have enjoyed it, so hit the subscribe button and tell your mates as well. Tell your mates, get them watching, because the more people watching, the more product I can get in, the more channel sponsors I can get, and the more content I can create for you, which is hopefully a good thing for everybody. So, thank you very much for watching. I've been Guy Kestevan on Guy Kes TV, talking about Pacific Northwest Components, Coast Cockpit and Rainier gravel post on this SRAM's rival axis loaded Stigmata. So thanks to them for lending me the bike as well. Cheers all round.